we started this company 25 years ago when at that time data was very much an IT citizen in the hands of IT teams building databases, data warehouses, operational data stores. It was complicated to really focus on, from the business side, in easy access to data, to corporate data. The vision that really was the spark to apply the research I was leading in a university in Spain was try to make data accessible for any corporate citizen, IT or non-IT, independently of data formats, data technologies, data structures, data platforms. What I can say is that this vision that we had 25 years ago remains totally valid today. I mean, this idea of democratizing data in organizations is more important than ever today. Well, we have been evolving our product, with a very clear roadmap. First, based on strong assumptions. The most important one, data is distributed. It's residing in different platforms, and that step, even with the effort to unify and centralize the data under one single technology in one or several repositories, we still think, that this idea of data distributed is absolutely valid and is in vigor, in all organizations. With the advent of cloud, distribution of the data landscape is becoming even more important. It's not anymore about data on-prem or data on cloud, or data in one cloud and not in another cloud. The real data ecosystems of these days are distributed with different technologies in the back end, with different types of workloads that you need to execute, and with different types of data that needs to be delivered to different audiences. The innovations that we plan in our roadmap are very much in sync with this fundamental idea, that the data is dispersed, distributed in the ecosystems. Always try to improve connectivity. We always try to improve integration capabilities of data with different formats. Focus is strongly on performance. It's about having easy access to distributed data, but it has to be with good performance. We focus on the ability to access the data without effort, and self-service capabilities are very important today in the product and continue to grow. I would say the final chapter is governance. Data is not anymore something that can liquidly flow from sources to consumers. It needs to go with the right level of security, with the right level of corporate governance, with the right authorizations to address or to reach the right consumer from the right source. So it needs to be managed in a way that complies with sovereignty rules, with jurisdictions. Significant improvements from the core data integration technology that we had in the Denodo version 1 into what is now the Denodo 8, and it's going to be the Denodo 9 in a month, that has been addressing all these challenges in data integration. Well, Denodo is very unique for one reason. I think it's the only data company that, when thinking about a data platform, starts with the usage. First is the usage. Everything needs to start, with understanding what is going to be the consumption pattern of the data. And then from there, you go into what governance is needed, what integration is needed, what computing model adapts better to that specific workload, what storage matters the most. As you go down the ladder, in this scale, the choices are less important to us. We are very agnostic. We can survive or we can live with any technology on the storage side. We also can live with any computing platform doing the data computations. When you end up no more in the closer to the delivery layer, is where we really need to control the data models. The data modeling is part of us, and the governance is part of us. The access interfaces are part of Denodo. This is the important space that we cover with our technology. If you compare that with other vendors, there's a lot of storage and computing. Most of the data platforms and the data vendors, they focus on competitive differentiation on how we store the data or how we compute the data. The differentiation of Denodo is much more on how you manage the data for consumption. It's very unique. Other data virtualization companies, well, it's very hard to find companies build a semantic layer across any data technology, any data system. You find companies that what they do, they call it data virtualization, which is very based on having connectivity, drivers, connectors that can definitely pull the data from a system, but not creating a unified semantic layer across the data systems. That's also very unique with Denodo when you compare with the other companies in this data landscape. That is the middleware, about that we can call data integration, data management. Exciting territory to explore. We are at the very beginning collaborating with Google Cloud, also with other cloud vendors, but definitely more advanced so far, with Google. I think basis is of these partnerships understanding the roles of each other. Google has been very active with Vertex, with Gemini, developing LLMs with different flavors. What we add is the ability to connect what they provide with their LLMs to corporate data. And how that works is orchestrating the Gen AI application work of these LLMs to simulate and understand natural language, to apply intelligence to any domain with something that at some point makes a lot of sense, which is contextualize that particular intelligent behavior with data that resides in the corporate systems, in the organizational systems. So what we do for that is to vectorize the metadata in the Denodo ecosystem. The Denodo ecosystem is, imagine Denodo with the data systems behind Denodo. So all the metadata, all the information about how data is there, which kind of tables are there, what kind of data models have been built, is vectorized and then can be used by the LLMs to really complete or augment what the LLM does with data about in a specific topic. Can be something in health about your specific clinical data. It may be in whatever about your specific or the bank's specific information about mortgages or credits or whatever it is the information. So that intelligent behavior in the Gen AI going to the data systems, the organizational data systems, extract that relevance that happens or matters to that particular intelligent behavior, and then provide to the end user something contextualized. Without that, LLMs become too general. They don't apply their intelligence to solve a particular problem. They lack the data. Because it's something that they don't have, this data that they cannot access just with LLM. This is something that we are working together. We have been supporting, this vectorization of the metadata and the orchestration of Denodo with Google Stack in order to provide a very solid framework to build generative AI applications. Well, we are very active in absolutely all verticals. If I have to mention, the ones where we got so far more traction, absolutely, financial services has been one of them. In all areas of financial services, asset management, investment banks, retail banking, the customer area, hyper-personalizing applications, which at the end is about how to really get the data that matters for some specific audience, supporting the delivery of the information through applications with Denodo, in risk management, supporting the construction of very sophisticated risk models in different areas. It can be in managing assets, stocks, bonds, can be just in risk analysis. All banks, especially global banks, they do, and they also generate these very sophisticated compliance reports with the regulators. So a very, very active area, that in financial services. But I can say the same in health, in primary care, in pharma, also in supporting drug discovery, clinical trials, commercialization of different drugs, in optimizing therapies. But you go to supply chains, in manufacturing, a lot that we do in order to really predict patterns to have the right inventory on stock, building efficiency, goods are distributed, or controlling the quality of manufacturing processes. Whatever vertical, you take, there's plenty of specific use cases. More than is coming, increase rate of ingesting data. Just to give you an example, in car, for instance, car companies, car manufacturers, that they were focusing on selling cars. And our use cases in the past were about how to manage inventory, how to manage spare parts, or how to predict maintenance of the cars. These days, they collect a huge amount of data from every connected car, these driverless cars. They estimate it's about 25 gigas per hour per car. If you multiply that, you enter petabytes dimension very, very, very easily. Then it's how to manage that and how to offer services, mobility services to the users. How to really go beyond traditional predictive maintenance with all this information that you have available. I think there's plenty of use cases in all different sectors. Data is very agnostic, it's very horizontal, and it definitely impacts all businesses in all verticals. Well, I explained a little bit of that before. What a semantic layer common data foundation across multiple data systems. This has very strong implications in how the data becomes liquid and flows from the data systems into the business users, in the hands of the business users. First, is ability to access the data very fast mode. This time to market, this time to access distributed data, super fast. You don't need to really go and extract the data through complicated, coding from any system using a connector. No, you have the metadata that provides the intelligence in how to access the data, how to integrate the data, how to really wrap the data, how to deliver it. Already embedded in the semantic layer. That brings speed to data. But the semantic layer is also a way to, in a unified way, without necessarily different flavors, you can access any data system. Bring fragments from these systems, combine them, and generate new data products. Well, that ability is very important, for this, what is called RAG, this retrieval augmented generation, which is so important in this new generative AI space that is being created, with LLMs. Why is it important? Well, it's important because something that has been trained to simulate a human behavior now also has the context, the data, right there, available through that semantic layer from any data system. So imagine intelligence, human intelligence, or in this case artificial, the simulation of human intelligence through these technologies, but also with data available. So this is not, this is a robot that is able to walk. No, it's a robot that is able to walk, understanding the beginning, the end, and the paths to go from the beginning to the end. Okay? Well, this is what RAG brings to the table, and this is what these unified semantic layers bring to artificial intelligence. Context to really apply the intelligence in order to solve a problem in a specific situation. That's a very good question. We take everything at this on time. It's so far it has been about growing the technology. It has been about global reach. Denodo is very global today with 30 offices in 23 different countries. It's not just reach, because one thing is to commercialize technology. A different thing is to be an agent for innovation in all these geographies. And we are in the process right now of consolidating technical bases in all our markets. Here, for instance, very important, the Middle East for us, and Riyadh is going to be one of these important bases, global bases, because we really build the company creating a network of intelligent hubs that concentrate, expertise and knowledge that we extract from our customer base, which are very sophisticated data users, and apply that regionally, close to the customers. That's the phase where we looking forward. Challenges, of course, about growing the business, penetrating. We still have a large customer base, but it's still a lot to penetrate. So this idea of having a unified semantic layer is something that eventually all companies will have. And I would say that no more probably than 5% of the companies worldwide can claim they have a data fabric, a semantic layer across their data systems. So the mandate to the teams in Denodo is, I think we already did the numbers, it's about 20,000 targets worldwide that we have in the high-end segment. And this is without even touching the companies with revenue below 1 billion. Let's go for them. They should be Denodo customers wherever they are. Let's find them. I don't care if they are in Mexico, in Iceland, in Perth, Australia, or in Indonesia. We want them as customers. We want to build a community of sophisticated data users. Let's get them in as customers. And then once that we go there, try to move the offering also to the next level, because data is also important, for the small and medium businesses. Well, that part, to be honest, has been the easiest part because the origins of the company had been in research. I was a professor in academia. My CTO was one of my top students. Most of the top product managers in the company, one way or the other, they had been students with me, doing PhDs with me. So we come from, if you want, from a research background where, in research, you are always trying to explore the unknown. It's like a big explorers. There's a status quo, there's something that has been already settled, and that you try to find out, the new thing, what is beyond that, right? That has been very much in the DNA of the company so far. When we have these brainstorming sessions in the company about the roadmap and how to really continue growing the company, I still sense that spirit, from the early phase, in the retreats where just we spend 3 or 4 days, a full week, brainstorming. Brainstorming is about dreaming about data. Okay, it's just let's dream the impossible. Okay, and this is very much in our lives every day. And then, of course, we go through filters to make the impossible possible. Right? That's how we try to really work in our roadmap. And in that process, especially in that second phase, there's something which is very important, is the dialogue that we implement with our customers to understand not just what we dream, it's also what we dream in the context of their problems and their situations. We organize product advisory councils I don't know how many per year, easily 10, 15, in different geographies. So these product advisory councils are a way to really validate, our thoughts, our ideas, listen to the customers' thoughts and ideas and how they expose the experience with our product, the problems they have with data, and merging all that in that melting pot is what ends up being the spark for new developments, the feeder of our roadmap.